episode of the Sartorial Geek podcast is sponsored by The Colorful Geek. If you've seen Jordan today at a convention, you've probably also seen The Colorful Geek because we love each other and sell near each other whenever we can. The Colorful Geek has all kinds of super cute, nerdy clothing and accessories that are made right here in New York. And they have a special discount for you. You can use the code SartorialGeek for 20% off everything at The Colorful Geek. So go check them out and follow them at The Colorful Geek all over the internet. Hey, welcome to the Sartorial Geek podcast. I'm Jordan Ellis of Jordan Dene, and I am here with Liz Crowder.
Hello.
And our editor, Dan Ison, is here.
Hi, guys.
So Dan makes every single thing sound good, and also did the intro music and
That's
outro
true.
music. We decided that at Comic-Con, right?
Mm-hmm. Yeah, you were dreaming about making this?
Yeah, so at
Question
Comic-Con in October, Dan accidentally was just in New York during that weekend, got to come to his very first Comic-Con, which,
He does that.
how was your experience at your very first
I
show?
waited a long time to go to the bathroom.
Yeah, that's pretty legit. That's a very, very good.
No, but it was a lot of
experience.
fun. I've never been to one of those before, and it was interesting seeing how much people wanted to be at your booth.
So this is so funny. Whenever people who knew me before like this job, it's funny to see those two worlds collide because people are like, "Oh, you have fans and like
People
you
care
have a
about
shop?"
what you're doing.
And like it's really funny. So you are definitely not the first person to say that. But yeah, I think I asked you if you would do music for a different project, and then that turned into this.
Mm-hmm.
So that worked out great.
Yeah, and that's what I went to college for. This is not what you went to college for.
Yeah.
What were you writing?
I was elementary education. So we actually, okay, so
She's gonna be a teacher.
for you guys, we all went to college together.
Yeah, all three of us
Yeah,
did.
we've been best friends since college.
Yeah, best friend.
And I went to school to be a teacher, didn't do it for one single day.
Not at all. Even remotely.
No.
You were just like, no, this isn't.
I didn't even
for
do
me.
my last semester of student
No,
teaching.
I know. I remember. I distinctly remember.
Just canceled that major immediately.
Yeah.
But you actually did go for audio.
I went for music
Music,
composition.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, and then got sucked into theater inadvertently. And
That
that's what
happens.
I do now. I do mostly like sound design and writing music for theater.
And really good podcast editing.
Yeah.
Which is awesome. Since editing this podcast is not your full-time job, what other stuff are you working on?
Yeah, so I'm based in Philly and I do a lot of sound work. So I do a lot of theater work for plays. So I'll make sound effects. Like if you hear a gunshot going off, like
That's
I'll do
Dan.
that. A lot of editing of sound, and then I write a bunch of music. And so I just opened the play yesterday or Friday.
Friday.
And,
It was Friday.
Friday. Thanks, Liz.
Yeah, you're welcome. Dan just winked at me, guys.
It was a good one. And it's like all cello that I wrote and played. And it's a lot of fun.
That's amazing.
That's so awesome.
Where is it? Where is your play happening? What's it called?
It's at
People wanna see it.
Inish Nua Theater Company, and it's in Center City.
And it's running
And the
until...
play is Our Few and Evil Days, and it's running until it closes.
Okay. Oh, thank you for that. Very specific.
But your website has all of your projects and all of your theater projects, all of your not
headshots,
live projects,
Yeah, yeah.
and music and stuff.
Yeah, and it's definitely up to date.
So everyone go check it out.
Well, we link to it in all of our show notes have your links because they all say edited by the wonderful Dan Ison.
Yeah.
Did you not
see that?
No.
Oh, well.
Hyperlinks right into your website.
Yeah. So update it.
People are looking. No, it's definitely updated. So go check out Dan's website.
Yeah.
So have you always been nerdy or not so much? Or are you super nerdy now? Give me your nerd
So
levels.
my nerd comes from a lot of stubbornness. The only reason I guess not the only reason, but the main reason I went to college for music was my pastor told me I'm terrible at music
I know the story.
and that I should stick to academics because I'm really smart.
What?
Dan was like, fuck you.
So I was like, fuck you, dude.
I'm going to school for music alone.
And then I just got obsessed and started nerding out. So I go like through cycles of like, I find something interesting and then I like obsess over it. And then like I move on to the next thing.
We know.
And somehow they all end up like intersecting.
Yeah.
That's how that goes. So that totally makes sense. So what are you nerding out on the most right now?
Right now, it would be acting.
Cool.
Okay.
That's the thing that's has my goat.
I wish you guys could see your facial expression.
Weirdest way.
My goat.
That's a phrase. That's
It is a phrase,
That's
but
a thing
also
people say.
it's like a thing where, it's like a thing where it has two meanings. That's all. And then with your pause, it becomes slightly suggestive. It's like when you can edit this out, but it's like when you tuck your junk up and then like from behind. Joey, what's a goat?
None of us know this.
Joey knows.
No, he does.
All the time.
Yeah, that's what that means.
Okay.
It's the greatest of all time.
Hey Dan, can you edit this out?
Maybe.
Dan is. You got him.
Dan is the one who introduced me to Firefly.
No way.
True,
Really?
Yeah.
Whoa. Was that one of your favorite?
Firefly, I think, is like one of the greatest travesties ever to happen.
Because of one season.
I don't understand how Andromeda can run forever.
I know, and that comes up a lot. Like, I feel like Firefly is one of the shows that gets talked about the most in my circle because it's just so sad. Like, it's so good, and then it was only one season.
I mean,
Everyone was
Arrested Development
heartbroken.
got canceled too, and that never should have happened.
But like Firefly was
Yeah.
like sabotage because like they aired this episodes out of order. Like
And that
Why
was
would they do that? On
think-
purpose?
I think like well, this probably shouldn't be in here because I don't know how
Yeah.
accurate this is.
Well, you can edit it out. We'll fact check. We'll do a corrections
like-
corner next podcast.
But I'm pretty sure like there was like a change of guard at Fox, and the
Oh.
previous guy, Firefly, was like his baby, and so
Yeah.
the other guy killed his baby.
Yeah. Oh, cool. So we're killing babies.
You know, like
But-
when a lion like takes over a pride.
Yeah, you know, like
kills,
when you kill a baby. Yeah.
Well, and Firefly also happened at the time of life before like the internet and Hulu and
Right.
stuff, so that it didn't have the. I mean, Arrested Development, same thing. It didn't have like you couldn't catch up by just like binging on Netflix.
Also,
so
you
had to
can't
watch
watch
it all.
Arrested Development. You feel like you can watch it out of order. You absolutely
No.
cannot.
Yeah,
They
nothing
bury
makes
those
sense.
jokes in there. I rewatched it like recently, and I started picking up on all these weird things. Like in the way beginning, they're like at the beach talking, and the fucking seal
Yeah.
is like hopping around in the background, like way in the background, and you
A
don't.
loose seal.
Yes, but they hint at these things all throughout, and then it fucking happens.
I saw the episode where Anne gets
Egg.
like left in Mexico.
So good.
Completely out, like it was just on TV. I watched it and I was like, what is this show? This makes no sense.
It's as
And
plain
then
as the Anne on
years-
Egg's face.
Years later, I was watching it with the DVD collection because that's
The DVD
how we watch shows
collection.
in college. You had to buy the whole season and
Yeah.
watch it. And I was like, oh, that's that episode I saw 3 years ago.
So
That
funny.
made no sense now.
So funny.
Are there any like current nerd things that you're?
Or your favorite. Like, it doesn't have to be current, but like your favorite of all time.
So like Arrested Development,
So good.
way
Yeah.
up there.
Oh, yeah.
I'm a sucker for anything that Tobias is doing.
I'm a sucker for continuity.
David Cross.
Yeah.
Love him.
I was a huge sucker for Doctor Who.
Yeah, that's Liz's favorite.
It is my
Like, but
favorite.
I'm a couple seasons behind.
Me too.
But like, I binged like from the reboot
Yeah.
and Matt Smith kind of lost me a little bit.
Same.
And then like
Polarizing opinion.
I wasn't here for the old guy.
Capaldi.
I was gonna ask you, how do you feel
I
about
didn't-
Peter Capaldi?
I didn't give it a shot yet.
I like him.
I didn't give it a
I'll
shot.
tell you this. I like him, and we feel the same about all the doctors. So I feel
That's-
like you're
that's
gonna
very
like him.
true.
I feel like you're gonna like him too. I do like him. I get it. I understand it. I'm into it. He's no Matt Smith, which is a compliment.
Well, but I also want to catch up because I want to see the lady.
That's what I was gonna
Melissa
say.
Doctor.
Because she was in another show by what's his name?
She was in Broadchurch.
She was in
Yes.
Broadchurch. She was also
Yes.
in Black Mirror.
What-
Wasn't she in an episode of Black Mirror? She was the one with when they could see the memories. you could like rewind.
With the key fob, yeah,
where she
you're
cheated,
right.
yeah,
Well, not a key
and then
fob.
lied
I
about
guess it's
it.
an
Yeah,
eye
it's
fob.
a key fob.
It's an eye fob.
It's an eyeball
your
fob.
brain.
Yeah, where you can rewind. I think that
Yes.
was her.
I'm not confident, but I
No, you're 100%
I
right.
think I think that's her.
But like Broadchurch, it was
Yeah.
who's the guy who did Doctor Who?
David Tennant?
The writer.
Oh.
What's his name?
But he's also he
not
has-
Stephen Moffat.
Chibnall? Chip.
Chip chip. Scoop did it.
Chris Chibnall. But he like wrote a lot of Doctor Who and Torchwood.
Torchwood.
Oh, sweet.
Torchwood was dark.
Torchwood was like season 3 of Torchwood was perfect. Okay, so I used to be on the Doctor Who train. Used to be not in like a bad way, but just I'm a couple seasons behind. I really loved the whole Tennant stretch and the build up to Gallifrey and all that stuff. And
I
so
think that we talk about loving David Tennant in at least 50% of the episodes.
Especially the ones
Even when
that
they're not related to Doctor Who. It just
He's the love of
everyone just loves David Tennant.
but
He's so
even the
good.
writing in that season, because like Matt Smith is fine, but like the writing just doesn't have the same like
It gets a little
impact.
gimmicky.
It's different.
Yeah.
Well, and in that
and
episode,
clippy and like I eat fish sticks and custard.
well, and when we were talking,
You don't have to try that hard to have a thing.
in the episode with Taylor, which was like mostly about Doctor Who, we were talking about how it's nice that the doctors are they're different personalities, they're different people, like they're all the same person, but it's nice. I mean, it's less nice when you like one more than the other, and then you have to kind of get through them. But it's cool how like the different doctors actually like make the show different. I mean, then they have different writers and stuff too, which
and I'm really like I want to catch up because I want to see the new season that's coming out with the Jodie Whittaker. Because like I nerded up on Broadchurch so hard, like I downed that in like no time.
Did
Like,
you watch both?
yeah. Wait, there's 3 now.
Yeah. I
No,
haven't-
but did you watch like the UK,
Grace Point?
the UK version and then
Grace
like
Point, the American one. Mm-mm.
I tried watching one episode of the American one and I couldn't do it.
I watched them both just because
Because more Tennant is
no,
what I'm saying.
I felt like I just had to do it just to see if they diverged at all. It's not great.
No.
You aren't missing out on
Yeah,
So if anyone is curious, if you see that Broadchurch and Grace Point look like the same show, they are, and watch Broadchurch instead.
Yes.
Because Grace Point is not
trash.
and also, what is up with the names Broadchurch,
I know.
Grace Point?
I don't know.
Someone
It's-
doesn't have an imagination.
They should have just left it with the show we loved and not tried
Leave it.
to
I
American
fucking
reboot
love David Tennant's Scottish accent.
it. Yeah, I do understand if some people had a hard time. Like, there were a few things where I was like, I don't really know
Who
this
cares
dialogue.
though?
No, it's fine.
Get
It's
over it.
completely
Just
fine.
like let it wash over you.
Yeah, it was completely fine.
He says Miller and it has like 13 syllables.
I know.
And it makes me so happy.
I'm not gonna try to do it because I definitely can't, but it's so beautiful.
and it's gorgeous. Like if you
Yeah.
watch the BBC Broadchurch,
Yeah.
it's like a freaking painting.
Yeah.
Like it's stunning. But then you watch
Yeah.
the Grace Point, and it's just like your American like procedural, and it's just
stupid.
Because that's what happens when you bring things over here. We ruin it.
Well, yeah, because it's so beautiful. It's happening in like this gorgeous beach town with cliffs and everything is. It's so pretty. Everyone go watch Broadchurch, please. If you like any of the same things as me and Liz, you will love it.
And Dan, because he
And
brought
Dan.
it up.
And Dan too.
Yeah.
Well,
Dan's a part of this group.
but I don't know
thank you.
You're
if
welcome.
our audience knows you and I a little better than Dan. He just got here.
That's
but
fair.
you're gonna find out what Dan likes.
We're gonna like him
The
better
same
than
things
us.
as him.
Yeah.
And just like any other black person in America, Black Panther.
Yeah.
I mean, like
Yeah.
watching the first 10 minutes, I was legitimately tearing up for no particular reason.
No, I fully cried.
Like
Yeah.
Clapped at the end. Was like when what's his name like bows at the end to his lady. I was
T'Challa?
like, no.
Wait, who are you talking about?
The one with the rhinos.
Oh.
When she's like, "Are you really gonna step to me?" and he was like, "No." And then like
Daniel Kaluuya.
yeah, I was like, Andrew, that's how you greet me every morning. That is what I want to see. Take notes.
I know.
And have a cup of coffee.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Yeah, where's my caffeine and where is my bow?
But
Oh my gosh.
but yeah, like I didn't realize like how much I needed that movie.
Yeah.
Because it's like every other time you see a story about a strong black person, they're overcoming slavery, they're Will Smith and homeless.
Homeless or a slave. Those are the two things we get to have.
And like you can have a home without being a slave.
Super good. Super good. Have a roof over your head and not be a slave.
Yeah.
But still, it was just like, it was pretty incredible seeing a representation of a black person who has their shit together.
Absolutely. Like, really has their shit together more than anybody else.
Yeah.
Who thinks clearly. Like,
Yes. Who did you like the best in Black Panther?
Bae who snatches her wig off. Like,
She
I was just like,
a
what?
fucking beast.
Yeah,
She was like, I don't want this.
Yeah.
Get this hair out of here.
And also, I loved how it just like subverted like small expectations.
Yep.
Like at the end when she steps in front of the rhino, you're like, I knew someone was gonna die. This is gonna be tragic. And then like something beautiful happens instead.
Bow to me.
You know?
Well, that's part of why M'Baku is one of my favorite characters, and
Well, he's definitely my
completely-
favorite character because he's beautiful.
Well, yes,
Gorilla
he is
dude?
gorgeous. Yeah, but he also same thing. Like
he's a vegetarian.
he's not what you expect
Yeah.
at all. Like he looks really intimidating and
He is.
scary, and then he's hilarious and a vegetarian and really kind
And hot
sweet
and muscular
so
and
good
hot
looking.
and
Oh
so
my
pretty.
God. Yeah. So yeah, I think you're totally right. That movie did an incredible job of just like not being what you expected, or like maybe not even what you would expect based on your own life, but what you would expect based on movies. Like you're like, this is not how you treat
it's
A
people.
large
challenges
This is-
part of that
stereotypes.
was
Yeah.
also because they let black people run the fucking show. Usually it's like white people telling black stories, and that's why we're slaves or homeless.
Yeah.
Or thugs. We get to be thugs a lot of the
Yeah.
time. But this time we got to tell our own story, and then we did it the right way.
It was so beautiful.
Where people are clapping at the end of the movie in the theaters. And when he said, "Hey, auntie," and the whole theater erupted
Oh my
in laughter,
gosh.
it just made me so happy. You should
Oh
do a
my
"Hey, auntie"
gosh.
shirt.
I love that so much.
I want it. I would totally wear
There
it.
are some.
I
You
know.
can find them.
I
They're
know.
very good. They're very
Yeah,
good.
and I also feel like it did a good job of not spending a lot of time blaming.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Like I feel like you could easily make that movie and be like, these white people fucked everything up.
Because they did. And they
Yeah.
do. But
Whoa there, Liz. No,
you can
but
cut
I mean,
that out.
instead in the movie, it's like the solution for Africa isn't the UN. It's not something outside of Africa. It's something that Africa always had,
Yeah.
and just needs to like find its like.
no white saviors here. There were no white saviors in
It's
that
also
movie, and it
really
made me very
nice-
happy.
Yeah, like that it wasn't really straightforward. Like they're like when like the villain is a compelling person. Like it's not like, oh, Killmonger is just the
Right.
word. Like he had a lot of really good points.
And he was really smart and really driven.
And they also both wanted the same exact thing. Like
Exactly.
at the end, Black Panther gives their technology away,
Yes.
just in a different way.
Yes.
Like they both wanted the same thing. One person was just doing it from like a.
I heard now everyone
viewpoint.
has to hurt.
Yeah.
Yes.
So I had a little bit of homework before this episode that I didn't do, but we were so Dan and I talk a lot because he is editing this podcast,
And
so
we're
we talk-
friends.
Oh well, yes, we're friends, and we also
Right,
talk about
that
work. But
Because she pays me.
yeah. One of the things we had been talking about after, I think it was actually after editing Robin and Siobhan's Black Panther episode, we were talking about Black Panther and like that movie, I mean, everything you just said. And then another movie that I was supposed to watch so we could talk about it, but I didn't watch it, but we can still talk about it. Like how movies that are happening now are actually catching up to your life experiences, which is kind of sad that we're like not young and this is the first
I mean,
time
like,
that's happening.
We're pretty 30.
Yeah. We're
Not
close.
yet.
Around there.
Not
But
yet.
I know when your birthday
Dan is a tiny
moving
baby chicken.
right along. Inching closer to the grave.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So we were talking about Black Panther, and we were talking about Call Me by Your Name, Have you seen that yet?
I'm not. So tell us all
Yeah,
about
see,
it.
now you have to be the expert and tell us.
And we're gonna be quiet so that you can talk.
So essentially, like, it's a coming of age story of this American in Italy, this gay American in Italy.
Okay.
And it like won Best Adapted Screenplay, and it's also deals with like a relationship with someone being older and someone being younger.
Okay.
And so there's just like a lot of like blurred lines in it.
Cool.
But there's this one specific part of the movie at the end where the character comes out, and just like the exchange that happens there, like I wish I saw a movie like that when I was like 13.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Like, I'm a gay black artist living in like America right now.
Yeah.
Like, there's
not a lot of representation for you.
not so much. But like, I didn't come out till I was 22, and like I literally like never knew a single gay person growing up. When I went to church, like my pastor would literally say stuff like, animals aren't gay. Like, why should
That's
people
actually
gay?
not
Which
true.
is not true.
That
It's
is
not true.
patently false.
Yeah.
Some animals are very gay.
Yeah.
Penguins
Yeah.
get weird.
They do
Yes.
get weird.
They get weird.
They do get weird.
But so it's just so interesting now that like Black Panther coming out,
Yeah.
this movie about sexuality and like finding who you are and it not being a typical thing, and it's all getting embraced, and it just feels like all these things that made me feel like I was on the fringes of society are like being celebrated now.
Which is awesome.
And it makes me so sad that it's not like any of those experiences are like unique to only one person. Like, it's not like, oh, of course this movie hasn't existed yet because you're the only person that would relate to it. There's
Nope.
super relatable things from huge groups of people
Yep.
that just have not gotten any play yet. And that is sad, but I'm glad
But it's
things are
also
changing.
it's also exciting, you know.
Yeah,
Like,
true.
Like, yeah, like it sucks that like it took this long, but the fact that it is changing, like that's like exciting, you know.
Well, and that's something that gets mentioned on almost every episode too, is I feel like a lot of the people we're talking to have a niche, and then there's space to do the thing you wanted because it hasn't been done yet, and it hasn't been overdone, and it hasn't been ruined. It's like, there is a huge opening to do an amazing thing right here. So like,
Let's do it.
go do it.
Yeah.
Yeah, which is awesome.
Yeah, and like if you don't feel represented, like represent, like
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, that's a very good slogan.
Have you?
That can be your life slogan.
make it a shirt.
Make it a shirt, Jordan.
Have you seen Moonlight?
No, he
No.
hasn't.
How'd you
Because
know
we
that?
talked about it. I was like, have you seen Moonlight? Because you should, and also I should. And then you're like, actually, I haven't. And then I
Have
knew
you seen Moonlight?
No, I haven't seen it.
Wow.
we should have a viewing party.
We should have a Moonlight.
Yeah,
party.
we're gonna watch
It's just-
Moonlight.
Yeah, it's interesting because it is sort of the two things that you've said about those two movies that you love in one movie. I mean, it's different, but
Black gays.
Yeah, that's it.
mean,
We're gonna chalk you
absolutely.
up to a black gay, a movie about black gays.
but it's so beautiful too.
It got a lot of awards and is like gorgeous
Yeah,
and
Best
like
Picture.
really well done. I heard, but we have not seen it yet.
Yeah, it's really good. I saw it. It's one of those movies. I have a hard time making myself see the movie that I know will be hard to watch.
Yes.
And then Joey's company did the branding for A24, which we talked about, and that was up for Best Picture that year. So he was like, we have to see the movie that like the company I'm working with, this is their bit, and then it won, which was incredible. I will warn you, it's so worth watching. It is so, I have not cried that much in a movie. Well, so it's in 3 parts, and the second part, I just never stopped crying. Like, I wasn't even crying. It was just like tears like pouring out of my
If
face.
you
the
want him to
entire
watch
time.
a movie, those are the wrong words.
I know.
You probably should
I
not have
know.
said that.
It's-
Because now he's never gonna watch
so
it.
I'll watch it.
much, but it's so wonderful.
Also, you're like, if this resonates with you particularly, you're gonna cry way harder than Jordan just said she did. Because
Well-
it's like your life.
So I'll say one of the reasons that it touched me was, we were saying that I went to school to be a teacher. So any situation with like schools or kids in school age who are having a hard time like makes me lose it. So
Yeah.
it's like a lot of kids growing up in like a lot of hard situations. It was just like, I want to make all their lives better. This is so hard to watch. But yeah, it's incredible. Everyone should watch Moonlight. We'll talk about it later.
Okay, yeah.
We're
Gonna
seen it.
Liz and Dan are gonna watch
have a part
Moonlight.
2?
Yeah.
Maybe the
And then
whole
we'll
podcast
discuss.
can be like us watching Moonlight
And
just
then
hearing us
recording
weep.
back. We'll just cry into the microphone. Yeah, no, we'll do an episode where the three of us discuss Moonlight because me and Dan are going to watch it.
Mm-hmm.
We're gonna
Maybe
watch
I'll
it.
swap out with Joey because he's a way better movie.
Joey
critic
can
than
join
me.
us too. It'll be four of us.
Yeah.
Okay, Joseph?
I've said this before. So I do like book reviews on the blog, but they're not book reviews. Like I don't critique or review. I just
Tell people what the
like
book's about.
things and then say that I like them. Like I am
She does.
not.
I'm the person who has to say no. Like if ever someone's like, I want to do this thing on the blog, then Jordan's like, Liz, and I'm like, no, you can't. You can't do it.
'Cause some nerds come in all shapes and sizes. So some people like pick their thing and then will spend all their time telling everyone why they're wrong about their thing. Mine is just like, here's a list of everything I like. Who's gonna like it with me?
And then if one person's like, I don't really love this, and Jordan's like, I'm sad because I love it and you should love it too.
I know. I just want everyone to love everything they love.
Yeah. Well,
That's
I mean
a good
that's
goal.
what we do, right? That's what we do here. We don't gatekeep.
No, never.
No.
Absolutely not.
Did that sound fake? That
don't
sounded
do it.
fake, right? No.
What's a
never. Absolutely not. I don't know what a gate is. What's a keeper?
No, we would never do that.
No, we don't do that. We're very inclusive.
Yeah.
Right? We're talking about Moonlight. Look at us. Look at us go.
Yeah.
Black Gate. Back. We're circling back to Black Gate.
I'm all about Black Panther.
Yeah. Oh yeah. No, that's good.
Yeah.
That sounds right. sounds correct.
So obviously you have to listen to this podcast because you edit them all. Do you have other podcasts that you're into, or
Oh,
is
yeah.
this what? Give us some good.
So TED Radio Hour.
Yeah.
Mhm.
Okay.
I don't know if you guys like
Do we
Check
like
that
TED
out.
Talks? Yeah.
love it.
I like TED Talks.
Because like the reason I like theater in general is just you tell like a story about X, right? But you might think the world functions in one way, functions like X, Y, and Z, and then you like experience like a story or a piece of theater, and it's like a complete pivot. Like it's something you've never considered, and so it's just super interesting how you might think something's one way, and then you get in the world and mind space and of like another writer, and it just opens up all these other possibilities for you, and like how you can process and solve your own life. And so like what I love about podcasts is like you can like be stuck in traffic and you just like get a whole new vantage point, a whole new viewpoint on the world. So I like TED Radio Hour. I listen to a bunch of business ones,
Me too.
even though like I don't really do that.
Dude, you're running your own business because
Oh, I
you
guess
are your
that's
business.
true.
So tell me if
Your body
you
is your
agree-
business.
That's true. I
Tell me
pimped
if you
myself
agree
out.
with this. So I listen to a lot of business podcasts too, which is more relevant because I need the information. But also, I feel like sometimes it's sort of like self-help because when you run a business, sometimes the advice is like, be a better person. And your business will go better. So like I have learned a lot of like good life tips
Yeah.
from business podcasts too, because you have to learn like skills, you have to learn patience, you have to learn accountability, like all these things that I think actually trickle over into my life.
Into being
too.
a functioning human, yeah.
Which is interesting that I'm getting like therapy from business podcasts, but kind of though.
Yeah, like one
What is
thing.
your favorite? Sorry.
No, go ahead.
What's your favorite business podcast? Because you were about to say you had like
I-
your finger
I was
down,
counting- I
and
was
then
counting things.
yeah, you were. What's your favorite business podcast?
The Tim Ferriss podcast, I used to
Yeah.
listen to a ton. I have to get caught up on that. But I've been listening to Masters of Scale with Reed
Heard of
Hoffman, I
that
think
one.
is his name.
Okay.
And it's like just how you were saying, like you find a lot of business stuff self-help, but he talks about like a lot of basic principles and ways of thinking
Cool.
that like if you're trying to do something, like get the foundation right, and
Right.
then you can like actually like build it successfully. But then he does it by like talking to like the guys who made Airbnb or like
That's cool.
the CEO of like
that's cool.
Facebook. Like,
That's really cool.
so like he talks about this idea, but then like shows you how it's like in
concrete
practice.
examples
Yeah.
of people just killing it.
So that's probably a good one for people who maybe don't run businesses but are interested in, like, that sounds cool, like just
Being-
interesting to everyone.
An interesting person.
Yeah,
And
yeah.
it's fun too. It's like edited really well. There's like sound design in it. Like it's actually
Cool.
like just fun to listen to.
Any other podcasts? Because you were on 2, and I feel like you had at least one more.
Yeah. What else?
Do you
have I
listen
been-
to true crime podcasts?
No. But,
I did Serial.
oh, Syria's good.
Yeah.
Did you do the first one? The second
And then
one?
I tried the second one, and
a
I
little
was like,
off the rails.
I'm not feeling
But
this.
the first one was really good. Yeah.
I'm still like conflicted.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah, I'm not. I made up my
You
mind.
think he did it?
No.
You don't think he did it?
No. I don't. I don't think he did it. I don't think they had enough evidence.
Are you normally an optimist?
What do you think?
No.
You can answer that question. No, I don't think he did it. You know, I'm pretty cynical when it comes to like people murdering other people.
Yeah.
That's something to be cynical about.
Yeah.
Not everyone is. Like sometimes people marry murderers when they're in jail for murder.
Oh, yeah, that's so true.
But that's like not me as a human. Like do you, I guess. But I'm not trying to marry any murderers. I just feel like he didn't. I feel like he didn't do it.
Yeah, I'm with you.
I'm on the fence.
You are.
I'm on the
How
fence.
come?
I feel like he had a shitty lawyer.
Oh, definitely. She was the worst.
Well, something you learn from listening to as much true crime as Liz and I do is that what legally happens and what actually happened are completely different things.
Also,
And you
sometimes
have
whole
to-
cases can get thrown out
Yeah.
because of a procedural error. Like someone
Well, you
filed
know what
paperwork in a
extra-
non-timely fashion. Yes,
This
I
is
do.
your job.
It is
so
my
you
job.
Know that from
It's
living
insane.
too.
It's
Yeah.
insane. It's just crazy.
Yeah.
Why else do you think you're on? Why else are you on the fence? Just the lawyer?
No, I remember thinking that was one of the things that pushed me towards thinking he didn't do it.
Yeah.
Because I felt like if he had better representation, it might have went down a different way.
Yeah.
But then there was just like weird things in his alibi in the story that
Mm-hmm.
lined up funky. Like it was a while ago when I saw
Yeah.
it, but I remember. I don't know what this means.
Yeah.
But I remember something with the cell phone towers being like bullshit.
Yeah. there's a lot
Do you
of
know
that.
what it like?
I think I remember that. Although I thought the cell phone I'm probably remembering wrong because it was a while ago. I remember thinking that one black guy, which is like the worst. To
Oh, in
assume
the woods, the
that
black guy in the woods.
The black guy who was like, it seemed like all the evidence was pointing at him, but he was like, but I didn't do it. And then that seemed to be enough. Like, I think it was his friend. It was his friend. I thought his friend did it. Maybe he wasn't black, I don't remember. But it was like, maybe your friend did it and kind of set you up because you were in the
And then
same
they
place at
didn't
the
like
same time.
flesh it out well enough.
They didn't, and I felt like the friend. They interviewed him years later, and they were like, "Okay, but people are kind of thinking that you did it," and he like got all upset about it, and that was enough to make them drop it. I was like, "No, that guy fucking did it." You want to know when you get real mad? When you're lying, and you want someone to believe that. I know because my sister does it.
Yeah.
All the fucking time. Whenever she gets wild, I'm like, you're not telling me the truth. If you just didn't do it, you would say, didn't do it.
We'll move on.
Be
yeah.
as mad as you want to be. I didn't do it. Yeah, you don't like cry and like spin around in circles and get all dramatic for the cameras. Like, I think his friend did it. Is that it? The end of all your podcasts?
Yeah, I was gonna say, do you listen to like any entertainment podcast? Like, so it sounds like you listen to a lot of things that make you smarter.
Yes.
Do you listen to any that are just fun, like that are not useful to your life? Just
My
pure
favorite
entertainment.
murder.
No.
Okay.
I don't.
I didn't really either. I used to only listen to business podcasts, and then I got into true crime, which
So
is
good.
My favorite murder.
Yes,
my
so
favorite murder,
good.
100%. And now I'm listening to more like pop culture ones. But yeah, I kind of just like learning things.
But I've also haven't had like a life for like
Yeah.
the last like couple months because I've been working like crazy. So I'm pretty sure like my habits are probably going to change.
Yeah.
Like
Like
maybe-
when you get more time to actually just enjoy things and not be hustling all the time.
Yeah, because right now I was doing that tour with the Walnut Tree Theater and then like sound designing like a bunch of shows.
So what kind of stuff, we talked about it a little bit already, but you obviously do audio editing and then you create the music for shows.
for
the
plays.
composer, right?
Yep.
That's the word.
And
Yep.
then
I
you
compose.
do
He
the
composes.
sound design for shows too?
Yep.
Is that the
Sometimes.
same thing or is that different?
Yes and no. So like so in theater you have like a bunch of different departments. You have costumes, you have sound, lighting, set, and they all do their own thing. And so a sound designer is responsible for anything you'll hear. So like
Cool.
whether it's like ambient sound, like the sound of like nature or whatever, or if
Gunshots.
there's gunshots or just sound effects, like we'll make that. And then music, like the music composition, like if a show has live music in it, you can either grab it from somewhere or you can write your own.
Oh,
And I like writing
cool.
my own.
He does like writing his own music.
That's awesome.
Yeah, Liz, when we were in college
Yes,
together,
I wrote a play.
she wrote a play, and I think that's the first time I've done that actually.
I think it was.
Was that the beginning?
That was the
think
beginning.
it was. And I think
Yeah.
it was your senior project?
Yeah, my senior recital.
Yeah, your senior recital.
Which was a fucking mess.
It's okay, it happens.
No, I mean like it turned out well, but
Yeah.
just like the process of
Of
like
getting there.
Yeah.
Right, senior projects are so terrifying. Mine was so fucking scary.
anymore.
Me too.
No, like-
Yeah, so I wrote the play, and then you composed music to
Mm-hmm.
it.
and then we put it up in the thing.
Yeah.
Like I must have been a crazy person because
You were. You were nuts.
like I didn't start doing music until my junior year of high school.
Yeah.
Because I was told I couldn't, and then I went to school for guitar, and then I was
In
like,
college?
yeah.
Okay.
Yeah,
And
you did.
Yeah, I went to school as a classical guitar major, but like, you have to like grow out your fingernails on your right hand so you
Yeah.
can pluck the
Very
strings.
Yeah,
And then there's like
right.
the weird footstool you
Yeah,
have up,
it's very
and like
creepy.
you, for some reason you have to have like a greasy ponytail.
Yeah.
Certainly don't.
Definitely did that. I remember.
Certainly do not have to have
And I
that.
was just like, I don't know if this is what I want to do with my life.
You have long fingernails on one hand and a greasy ponytail.
Makes sense. That
But
makes
so,
sense. So
like-
you found the way that works and is interesting.
I need to
Yeah.
tell my absolute favorite story, my favorite Dan Ison story. Oh no, I just thought of like 3 more. Okay, I'm gonna tell this one is actually my second favorite Dan Ison story. So once upon a time, we were all on our way to a house party that was very close to campus, maybe about 30 seconds from campus's doorstep. And I was walking with Dan to this party. I think we were all in a big group all walking together. And on the way, he was like, oh, I gotta go do this one thing real quick, but I'll meet you there. So we all continued to the house party. I think maybe 4 to 5 hours went by. Like all the food was gone. All the drinks were gone. Dan rolls up as the party's ending. And we were like, you were 2 seconds behind us. What happened? There was like a worship team that needed an extra guitar player. So he was like, oh, let me run back and get my guitar. And then he played guitar for that for a while. Then he was continuing on his merry way. And then there was like a volleyball game that was going on. And they needed an extra person magically. So he was like, oh, let me hop in here real quick. Played a quick game of volleyball. Yeah, then there was like a ultimate frisbee game happening. And they're like, hey, Dan, do you want to get in here real quick? So he did all these fucking things on his way to the house party. And then by the time he got to the party was over. And no one was surprised when he told everyone what happened. They were like, oh, that sounds like Dan.
Yeah.
But
We lost him. We lost him on his merry way.
You're still doing that, like, so I said, like, you made the music for the intro, and then you were like, well, if you just send me the first episode, I'll just, like, add the music. And you're like, well, if you want me to just be your permanent editor,
Dan's a yes
I'll
man.
just start working for you now. So that works. Like, you have, it works. Like, you just fill in the gaps, and then that's cool because your skill set is so wide now. Like, you can play music, you can write music, you can
do
edit
parkour,
music,
you can run a
do
marathon.
theater, yeah, and then all the other unrelated things, which is awesome.
But like, it's a catch-22, right? Because if you do, I mean, like the jack of all trades, master of none.
Yeah,
But also, like,
yeah.
what I'm running into now is just time.
Yeah.
Like, I've been doing a lot of things where like I'm like really confident in the work that I do, but it's just like getting overbooked with like so many things, and you have to decide like at some point what you want to focus on for now. It doesn't have to be permanent,
Yeah.
but like you have to like
Pick a thing.
You have to pick a thing. Like
Yeah.
there's one theater in Philly called Quintessence, and I was like grabbing drinks with the artistic director of the theater, and he was like, "What are you doing?" He was like, "What are you doing?" Because like I just got done doing sound for their Julius Caesar that they put up, and he was like, really, what are you doing? Like you're doing like you're acting at the Walnut full time, and then you're like doing sound design here and here and here. He's like, I feel like you're running back and forth between like a bunch of different boats, and like you just need to get on a boat and go somewhere for a bit.
You're never gonna
But like
do
you're
that.
just like in the dock.
Yeah,
like,
that's
running back
Every
and
business
forth.
owner too, like because when you're kind of good at a lot of things, you want to do all the things that you enjoy, but then
You
you're
can't sleep.
right though. Yeah, you have
Jordan
to
actually asked me, I
eventually-
think it was yesterday, she was like, when does Dan find time to sleep? And I was like, he doesn't.
Sometimes I get
He
episode
fully
edits
doesn't.
back
Yeah.
at like 4 a.m.
Yeah.
Like, Dan, why are you awake?
Just came back from a run.
To be fair, I'm also normally awake, so I feel you. But I was like, does this poor guy sleep?
I
No.
mean, you just gotta get the work done.
Yeah, no, I fully
And
understand
like,
that.
and one thing I found is that like, if you have like this mountain of work to do, right? And you just like don't look at the mountain and just like
Yep.
chisel like a little piece off and just keep doing the work, like eventually like it all gets done. But it's just like, if it's interesting, like you gotta do it.
Or you can go to bed at 9 like
do
I
it.
do.
You gotta do it.
I know. So tell everyone where they can find all your things, because there's no like, I'm doing this one thing forever. It's always a different play or a different doing music for different things. So what's the best way?
Yeah, the best place to find my stuff is my website, which is my name, www.danielison.com.
Sweet. And then is there a good place for people to follow you, or just like, do you do social medias?
I do Instagram sometimes.
So not so much.
Sometimes.
What's your, you just don't really? Like,
Yeah,
that's not
when
your-
does he have the time?
I'm not judging. I'm just asking.
It's like one more thing.
Yeah, that's fine.
No, but honestly, I think I'm going to scale back sound and focus more on like the acting side of things.
Are you quitting on me?
No.
Oh no!
This is how Dan quits publicly on a podcast.
Bringing to you mid-podcast that I'm
Jordan, I'm done.
We're introducing you to Dan, and you also get to say
Scaling
goodbye to
back
him.
all other sound except for this very
This
cool
podcast.
project. Yes.
But
No, that's cool.
But yeah, and the thing I'm realizing too is like for the longest time, I would get like really like stressed out because there were so many different things I wanted to do.
Yeah.
Like I felt like my heart was going to explode, or like have you ever had the feeling like you really wanted to sprint, but it felt like your environment like wasn't
So when
conducive?
you're having a nightmare and there's a monster behind
That's what I
you
was just
and you have to
thinking.
run, but then you're like
Your
running
body
in
is
slow
jello
motion.
and you can't.
Yeah.
or like you're ready to go, and then like no one else is like.
I will tell you for a fact, never in my life have I been like, I really want to sprint.
Yeah, you're talking to two of the wrong people for that.
Do not like to exercise.
But we do understand trying to get somewhere. And
But
you
like
just feel
the,
like you can't.
but like the thing that's like helped me manage a lot of this stuff is just like finding what's interesting instead of like stressing out about what thing am I gonna play with
Yeah,
now. Like
cool.
you can think of it like, isn't it cool that like I can just like look here and find something interesting, look here and find something interesting, and so it's just like switching like how you view the same exact thing.
Literally, like the story I just told of Dan walking down a path, and he's like, "Ooh, fun thing to do! Ooh, another fun thing to do! Life is so fun."
Well, I'm glad you have a lot of interest, but I'm glad you're also finding focus. That's
Yeah.
good.
Yeah.
Sweet. Thanks for bringing on, Dan. I'm glad you could be in front of the mic instead of always
Behind it
listening.
being like, "Guys, give me some room tone. Stop screaming into the microphone."
No one knows what you're talking about at all. Awesome. Thank you so much, Dan and Liz.
Yeah.
No problem.
If you like our podcast, you can subscribe and you can leave a review, which would be amazing. You don't even have to write anything. You can just click stars if you don't feel like writing.
5 stars, please.
5 stars would be
stars.
great. 5 stars would be great. I have come to accept things, so if you leave less than 5 stars, I'll be okay.
But Liz
5
won't
stars
be.
would be better.
Yeah. I'm the no man, but she's the yes man.
You can also check out our Patreon. We have really cool rewards, like you can be our pen pal. You can get a gift box of random stuff. That would be awesome.
We're selling, Jordan. You want a bunch of random shit?
Yeah.
Support us.
Who doesn't want a box of presents every month?
You didn't say
That's
presents,
amazing.
you said random stuff.
I'm being honest, that is what it's gonna be.
It's random presents
random presents
that bring you joy.
Yeah. And you can follow us at Sartorial Geek everywhere.
Yep.
Thank you. Have an awesome day and stay nerdy.
Stay nerdy.
Stay nerdy.
Bye.
Sorry, I took over.
Take over, Liz.
No,
Sing
okay.
goodbye. Sing it.
Dan, sing goodbye.
Goodbye.
I knew you would do that.
I'm so happy.